We're rolling.
Hi there. I'm Autumn. Thank you for participating. I wanted to kind of go over a couple forms. We've had some issues with the schools. Specifically, my kids attend Sowers, and we've had a few interactions with the school and what's going on and what they've done and how they are segregating our children and stuff. Currently, our school is been segregated, or the students have been segregated. They've been put into, somebody used a great word, a FEMA camp, where they're pop-up tents surrounded by partitions. They have to sit there all day. They can leave for PE and for lunch only. They're not allowed to get up for passing period, so they cannot stretch their legs. They can't get a drink of water without asking for permission. So they're stuck in this space for the whole entire day. We did have an incident yesterday when it was super windy. The partitions fell down, almost hit the kid, almost hit my daughter actually. But they were shaking all day and banging on the kids because they sit next to the walls and they bang like this all day. But they did end up falling down, and they had to take the whole entire thing apart. It was erected again this morning, but they did have to take it apart because of the wind was so severe yesterday. So they have put our children in grave danger. Another incident happened with one of the kids there who got up more times than he was allowed, and the helper, I don't know her name. I will find out her name, but I don't know it right now. The helper actually physically put her hands on this child and moved him to another location. Completely unacceptable. You're not allowed to put your hands on a child per the law unless they are posing clear and present danger to themselves and or other children, usually with weapons and such. She put her hands on a kid. Big mistake, lady, big mistake. I am asking everybody to fill out as many forms as possible. This right here is the Williams Act form. This right here is a uniform complaint form by the district. And then this is an additional uniform complaint form by the district. It's pretty self-explanatory. Your kid is the claimant. So whenever you're filling this paperwork out, your child is the claimant. Fill it out to the best of your knowledge. They don't really give so much space, enough space on any of this. So it's highly recommended that you get a separate piece of paper and be as explicit and detail oriented as possible. We suggest that, we've been told that and suggested that you put the date of event, possibly the time of event, the location of the event that occurred, who was involved, specifically your child, and or any friends or teachers, staff, whomever was involved in it, and add all of their names and what actually even happened in the event. So make it as detail oriented as possible. I also want to know how your child felt. So we want to know, was your child scared? Were they sad? Were they intimidated? Were they badgered? What was going on and how they felt about that? Because emotional distress is a huge thing. For example, my child went to the class the first day and said that the teacher asked him to put a mask on, and he said no. And he gave her his spiel of why he was not going to wear a mask. She, in a very degrading way, said, "Go tell your story to the principal then." That made him embarrassed in front of his classroom. It made him feel this big and worthless in front of the teacher. So it evoked emotion. So be sure to put the emotion that is involved in all this too. So when you're done, again, you can just say reference and put the piece of paper on the other piece of paper. Sign it and date it. This is the same thing, uniform complaint form. Condition facilities. A condition posed an urgent or emergency threat or health to your safety. The tent at Sowers blew over on the children yesterday. That's pretty much a big, huge safety issue. So you want to check that. Again, it wants you to detail what the problem was, who was there, time, location, and all that, and make it as detailed as possible. You can always put, when they have all this space here, see attachment. This is the Williams report right here. There are also several different check boxes that you can have on there. First one, discrimination, harassment, intimidation, or bullying by the school administrator or teachers. Well, yeah, I just gave you an example of when my child was intimidated or bullied by the school teacher. Having them in the classroom, or in this makeshift classroom, is and specifically in Sowers, the lady is yelling at them, like yelling at them, projecting her voice, screaming like you do when they do something bad. They're actually yelling at your children, our children, and that. So that's bullying and present danger for your children. So check that box. They're going to also have a section right here, see attachment, because again, they want a full detail of the events that occurred. This is the biggest thing ever. It's called a tort claim fund, tort government claim fund. Again, your kid is the claimant on here. When, where, how, what, that right there, you're gonna write see Exhibit A. And that's where you're gonna put in your detail, the events that your kids have been discriminated against or abused or however they've been harmed in all of this stuff. See Exhibit A. We're gonna put right here, the question, if total amount claimed exceeds $10,000, is this a limited civil case? Yes, it does exceed $10,000 because we don't know if it's going to be $25,000 because if we actually end up physically going to court, this is what is actually needed and we don't want to have a monetary value on it. We certainly don't want it to be limited to $10,000. And so that we don't want the monetary value to be limited. So you check yes on that bar. And again, fill it and date it. When you're all done with all of this paperwork, it is highly suggested that you send it to your school principal, the superintendents of your district, and send it directly to them. You can send it via email, you can send it via snail mail. It is suggested by the attorneys that you send the tort form, that you send this registered mail so you have a copy of it, then it's been received. But send it everywhere, send it via email, send it as many places as you can. We are, our group, Aaron and I, are going to present everybody, if you could email us or give us a copy too, at the next board meeting, we want to present everybody who has done this and present it to the board in one full package so they can't claim that they didn't get it. So we're going to serve them on behalf of you guys and in one full package. So that's about it. If you have any questions, I guess just you can always email me or come by. We're probably going to do another signing event, so you guys, we can go over this again. But there's a lot of things that they can't do to your kids. Just for example, if your kids want to go back to class and not wear a mask, they certainly can. All they have to do is walk into the classroom. The teacher's going to say, put your mask on. Your child says, no, thank you. And he or she goes and sits in their chair. The teacher's going to say, get up and go to the office. The teacher, all she has to do or he has to do is say, no, thank you, and just sit down. As many times as they are asked something, just say, no, thank you. The school cannot physically touch your child. They cannot physically remove your child unless they pose a clear and present danger to themselves and or any other child in the classroom and or the school. They can't. It's illegal. So you can't fear that they're going to call the police. They can't. They've done nothing wrong. They can't call the health department on your child unless they're sick, of course. And they're like, we want this kid out of the classroom because they're sick. That's the only way that the health department can come and remove your child. So, and they're not sick. So they can actually physically go to class if they want to and without a worry. Nobody's going to touch them. So
you want the parents to go drop it off physically to them too, right at the office?
Yes, but always retain a copy for yourself. We want a paper trail. If you have any communications with the school, with the principals, with the teachers, with the superintendents, with the board members, with the district, always have a paper trail. Right. So there's a documentation of it. So
would you suggest they should maybe even film the interaction and dropping the paperwork off?
They can, yeah.
I mean, I would think that would be good.
Never hurts,
filming
right?
it.
Yeah, it never hurts.
And then you have video evidence too.
Sure. We met with a group of principals the other day and a superintendent, and their hands were shaking. They are afraid. They've never been, unfortunately they're put in a position. They're just the minions taking barking orders from the higher ups, and they're put in a position. They don't want confrontation, but I don't want confrontation. But when my kid is involved, I'm gonna make it. They're my top priority. So, they're nervous. There's a lot going on, and they have never had this much pushback from the district. And with all this stuff that we're presenting to them, these are legal things that they actually hold them accountable, and they can get reprimanded. The district can get reprimanded for them. So this tort form evokes the insurance policy that they have on there. If they have more than one or two of these every 3 years, this is a big deal. They could lose their insurance, which will shut down the schools, you know? I mean, they can lose their insurance policies. It's a big deal. I believe also funding is based off of this Williams report. They ask at every board meeting or every quarter, I believe, they ask if there's been a Williams report submitted to the district. I mean, they're used to not ever getting any of this stuff submitted to them. So it's the best legal way, because we can't fight anymore. We can protest and rally and continue to do that, but at some point we have to attack them where it hurts, right? And then this is a way to attack them where it hurts. They have to act on this kind of stuff. They can't just say, okay, thank you and have a nice day, or not return your emails, which has happened to me several times. So they can't do that anymore. They have to respond to this stuff. So it makes them accountable, and it makes them aware of what's really going on, and it makes the persons who oversee them aware of what's going on. So in order to get this paperwork, you can, I will have it in a scan file and I can email it to you at any time, autumndigiovanni@gmail.com. And or you can go to the Huntington Beach City School District website and you can get this complaint form, and you can get both of these forms on there. It just takes a little bit of searching and you can find them on there. I think if you search forms, it will be on there. Williams form, you'll see the Williams complaint form. This is the Williams form. They don't actually physically have this on their website, but you can just Google Williams complaint form and this will come up. This major government tort form is supposed to be on their website. It is not. I had to physically go down to the district office today to get it, and now it is in their possession, and they should post it on the website. If not, you can email the district and ask for the government tort claims form, and they will send this to you as well. Or again, I have this whole entire package, and I will gladly forward it to you.